you've brought up the Kliq a few times in this. Can you just go into a bit more detail about the Kliq and your interactions with Shawn Michaels himself?
I always tried to get along with everybody. I remember hearing, even back then, they would say, I guess it was Chief Jay Strongbow that said, in this business you can either make money or make friends. Well, apparently I made a lot of friends because I didn't make no money. But I always tried to be friends with everybody, and including the guys from the Kliq that I thought were dickheads sometimes, most of the time. I thought they were arrogant. I thought they had too much control in that company, but there was nothing you could do about it unless you kind of raised your own stock by doing something. But I tried to get along, but many times that I found myself out at clubs or in bars with those guys or different combinations of them, and there were instances where, and he's already talked about this on his own, but Shawn Michaels was pretty messed up back then as well. And there was times where I found myself babysitting him and Scott Hall sometimes and getting them out of bars because they were so messed up and into potential fight situations on a number of occasions. I was kind of like, not the designated driver, even though I was that too. I was the least fucked up of the bunch, I guess, at that time, when I would hang out with them. But I was also, if Kevin Nash wasn't around, or some of those other guys, I was kind of like the bodyguard that I would just kind of hang around and make sure nobody messed with Shawn or Scott, or if Waltman was around. From time to time I would do that.
Because I've heard Scott Hall himself say that Shawn didn't care that much about getting beat up, and he would actually try and be rude sometimes. Like, he wouldn't care about being rude, even if it was a situation he couldn't win.
There was times where he, again, it was arrogance, and when he got messed up, it kind of got worse. I told the story about this time I can't remember where it was. Times I'm bad with dates and I'm bad with towns, but I remember we were at a bar, and I think it was like Washington somewhere, but anyway, Shawn was messed up, and it was just me, him, and I think Scott Hall was there, and I told this story, but there was a group of dudes in this bar, man, and they were pretty big, and they were drunk, we were all messed up, and Shawn was really messed up, and he started talking shit to them, and they didn't like it. I think he was saying something like they weren't going to get laid because we were there. Basically, the wrestlers were there and they didn't have a chance. And these guys were pissed. But what ended up happening is they wanted to fight. They really wanted to fight. And I just remember what I ended up doing. The biggest one, I grabbed him by his ears and I kissed him on the lips. This big drunk dude in a bar. I grabbed him and I kissed him on the lips and stunned him, basically long enough for me to grab Shawn and get us out of there, because there was a big group of them. There was a bunch of them. There was probably like 6 of them, and they didn't know quite what to do when I did that, but it worked. So, and I didn't have to get in a fight.
So you were gone by the time that Syracuse incident happened, I guess?
No, I was there, but I wasn't on that loop.
Oh, okay.
I remember sitting with Shawn and Kevin Nash afterwards and telling Shawn, well, if I was there, that shit wouldn't have happened. I don't know if it would have or not. I don't even know if I would have been with him that night, but I tried, even if I didn't necessarily like somebody personally,
yeah,
you always try to kind of look out for the boys. And you knew Shawn at that point was on his way to becoming the champion, and you kind of want to protect the company in that respect. Whoever is on top or is going to be on top, you kind of look out. And we just look out for each other in general anyway, regardless of personal feelings, aside.